Well, Alan, first of all, thanks very much for sitting down and speaking with me. Looking outside, we're down at the training ground. The new 4G surface has been laid. How's that been?
Absolutely fantastic. Delighted that we've finally got to a stage where it has been relayed. I think everybody knew that it did need relayed, and obviously now that we've got that, we can already see a difference in the quality and the standard of training, both at academy at evening and obviously with the reserve boys during the day, and it's certainly given everybody a lift.
How important was it to get that sort of done and dusted?
Yeah, it's been vitally important. It's something that the club have been working really hard on in the background for the last 18 months. So delighted that the chairman has managed to get it over the line. And as I say, the impact that will make going forward, it'll make a massive difference to everybody that gets to utilise it.
Just in terms of the park, I know you were away, I think in Holland, looking at some pitches over there. How important was it to try and get the best standard you could?
Yeah, that was it. Had a discussion with the chairman in relation to that. We'd seen several pitches here, but we thought that it would be beneficial to go further afield and kind of check out the latest facilities in Holland. And fortunately enough that we identified one or two quality surfaces, and ultimately that's one that's been subsequently laid out there now.
Obviously, in terms of that, the decision was made quite a while ago. It's only just recently kind of been finished, and the boys are now on it. How pleasing is it to finally be out there? Yeah,
as I said to you, it's made a real difference, and it gives everybody a lift. But also means that there's no excuses now in relation to the quality of football that we try to play on there. So it certainly raised the standards, and it's now there to be utilised by both the academy and the first team and the reserve boys as much as they possibly can.
Looking at funding for it as well, I know SMiSA contributed quite a fair amount to it. Again, when you look at this club, the whole community aspect of it, how important was that SMiSA were involved, and then they'll get a chance to sort of see the pitch and play on it as well?
Yeah, we can't thank SMiSA enough. Not just with the pitch, but with a lot of hard work and effort and sponsorship that they've put into, particularly the academy, over the time that I've been here, whether it's been footballs, goals, etc. So we have to thank them, and hopefully with the impact that they've had on the academy, that will assist and they will feel part of some of the young players that hopefully come through in the future.
Speaking about young players that have come through in the future, a real big investment for clubs in youth academies, but I think over the last couple of years we've certainly seen the fruits of it. The likes of Kenny McLean, Stevie Mallon, Lewis Morgan all moving on, John McGinn, and at the moment we've got the likes of Allan McManus, Ethan Erhahon and Cammy McPherson in the first team.
Yes, it's the club's got a great tradition of producing good young players, and you've named several of them there. Obviously at the moment with Ethan being the kind of latest one to come in and doing particularly well. So obviously my job and the staff's job is to continue that conveyor belt, which it's always a tough challenge, but we believe that we've got some good young players here at the moment that over the next coming few seasons are ready to make that step, and obviously having the correct facilities enhances that as well. Just
since you've come into the club, Allan McManus has made his debut for the first team. Ethan has been in the last couple of weeks. Cammy's been in about the squad. Sam Jameson made his debut this season. Also Cammy Bredner on the bench at the weekend there. How nice is that for you to see the sort of fruits of your labour over the last wee while since you've been in?
Yeah, it's very pleasing, and I think obviously the challenge has always been to continue the fantastic work that David had done. I always say that, David's a good friend of mine, and obviously to pick up from where he'd left off was a challenge. But we have worked away in the background, and as you say there, that getting Kyle through and Ethan, Cammy McPherson, and one or two of the other younger lads in and about it at the moment, that's been it's been very pleasing, and we've obviously got to thank the staff around myself who've played a massive part in that. But we don't rest in our laurels. We've got to keep working hard, find new ways to keep producing quality young talent, because it is getting hard. It is getting harder, but that's the challenges. And as I say, with having the best facilities about, then that certainly makes things a wee bit easier for us.
Even to a lesser extent, you've got Conor McBrearty out on loan to Stenhousemuir, scored 2 goals against Falkirk in the Scottish Cup recently. Aaron Reid as well out. How important is it for players like that to be out and get first team football regularly?
It's vitally important for them. I think the way that we've tried to change this year and go into a reserve structure rather than the under-20s, and it's early days yet, so we're not sure whether that's the best way to go, but to get the players out and play competitive first team football and get the opportunity to play for 3 points and win bonuses, that can only enhance and help them be ready should they get called up from the management. You've
mentioned the reserve squad there, a big game on Monday against Morton. How much are you looking forward to that derby days?
Yeah, they're always good games, whether it's at under 11s with the academy, right up to first team level, so there's always a competitive edge, and I'd be naive to say anything differently. So the boys will be working hard this week, and they'll prepare properly over the weekend, and it's a game that they'll go in full of confidence because they've been doing reasonably well in the reserve league recently, and it's important that they keep that run going, and more importantly the younger ones give a good account of themselves, because that's ultimately how they'll get noticed by the manager.
Pre-entry to the game as well, how important is it, do you think, or how good an opportunity is it for supporters to come along and see the stars of the future potentially?
Yes, it always helps. The more people that can come along and watch the game, the better. I think in the IRN-BRU Cup games this season, when some of the supporters have got along, I think the younger players have thrived in that, so that always helps. So hopefully we can get a few supporters along, and that would certainly help us.
Mentioning the IRN-BRU Cup there as well, how pleased were you with the team's efforts in that? Because I think just the third Colts team ever to make it through to the third round and give Queen's Park a real show. In that last round, just unlucky not to get the win in the end.
Yeah, I think we were very proud of what the squad achieved. I just think they fell a wee bit short, let themselves down a wee bit in the Queen's Park game for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, young lads playing against first team players is ultimately what it's all about, and that's how they would have got a lot of experience from that, and hopefully that will stand them in good stead going forward in their young careers.
Yeah, like you say, we talk about when players go out on loan, it's important. How important do you feel that introduction of Colts teams to the IRN-BRU Cup has been? Are you a fan of it?
We are certainly, myself and Andrew and Ross. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that Colts or reserves, whatever you want to call them, are introduced to play against first teams, but ultimately that's how young players learn and develop, is by playing alongside and against experienced players. So I think it's been fantastic for our point of view.
Just finally, we'll go back to the surface. I know there's going to be a game there for supporters. I think you'll be pulling back on your boots. How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, very much so. I think it's important that we try and give something back as well. So a lot of us will be involved, myself, Webby, the gaffer, Junior, Jamie Langfield, Burton O'Brien, and a few other ex-players that have played here previously. So we really look forward to that, and we welcome the fans to come along, and hopefully it'll be an entertaining game.